set for the freestyle 136-pound division. In the blue singlet from Bloomington, Indiana, 23-year-old Alan Freed. He wrestles for the Sunkissed Kids. And in the red singlet from Iowa City, Iowa, 27-year-old, the other half of the Brands twins, Tommy Brands. And Tommy Brands, as he told us earlier, is aware of his opponent's strength.
I'm always aware of my opponent's strengths. You know, I don't dwell on him by any means, but you have to be aware of him where he can put you in danger, and you know, that's the same for, you know, everybody. You know, if somebody's got a front headlock with a roll through like Gilbert last night, you know, you got to be aware of that. And
what's Alan got that you're going to be a little bit ready for?
He's pretty good with his hips. He can, I mean, he can throw you from anywhere if you get too high or get your hips too far out from underneath you. And you know, I've been there before. I don't know if you remember the Midlands or not, but you got to be ready to go.
Brands very knowledgeable when he's out there, Russ. He wants to keep his head. He wants to keep his focus. He doesn't like to talk a whole lot about his opponents, but he knows about every opponent he has. Like his brother Terry, he's a muscle man, but at the same time, he's incorporating the physical and the mental together to become a complete wrestler.
And, of course, the Midlands he's talking about, Alan Freed was in the final surprise and pinned. And so he doesn't want something like that to happen again. They want to keep that out of the Brands family. Alan Freed is dangerous. He has respect for that.
What do you think right now is in Tom's mind? His brother Terry lost in this competition to Kendall Cross. It was a big upset. Do you think Tommy is cognizant of that? Do you think he just puts it to the side? How does he approach this battle?
I don't think it's a factor. I think the experienced wrestlers focus on their own match. I think they have a concern for other athletes, particularly for a brother, but I think they put that out of their mind, otherwise they know it's going to impact them. Alan Freed getting 2 points for a quick exposure, not just a takedown, took Tom to his back, and he will get 3 points for it. A confirmation of the 3. 2 went up initially, but it should have been 3 because they put him to his back off the takedown, and that is what now is on the scoreboard.
And I really have to commend Alan Freed at this point, going up 3-0. He told us before that he was going to attempt to wrestle within himself, and that's exactly what he did. He stayed focused, he stayed calm under the attack by Brands, and then picked up the 3 points.
Well, both of these wrestlers have a reputation for aggressiveness throughout their career, dominant in their matches at every level in collegiate and in high school wrestling. So we're going to see a great match here, and we're not going to see anybody back off.
Freed is not a new man to the mat. He's the 1994 NCAA champion. Tommy Brands at the same time is a 3-time NCAA champion. So again, 2 stalwart performers in front of us today.
And of course, being great in the NCAA doesn't always mean you're going to be great here, but these 2 wrestlers have definitely made the conversion. They wrestle a lot of international matches, have a lot of strategy, a lot of tactic concern here that makes them great wrestlers. Now here, Brian's back in on the leg, trying to even this match up as fast as he can, but 3 minutes remaining, and he's down 3-0.
And he's good at that, going in low and shooting hard and then trying to use his strength, as he's doing now, successfully doing, to pick up 2 points and pull within 1 point of Alan Freed. It is now 3-2, Freed over Brands. We're at the 2-minute and 45-minute mark in this bout.
Now, the difference between the move by Brands and the move by Freed, Freed took Brands to his back from the feet. In this particular case, Freed had Brands had Freed down on the mat and then turned him over. So he only picks up 2. His score now is 3-2. And they go off the mat. We may have a passivity call here for going off the mat, and a point with it, a caution.
We are at the 136-pound freestyle championship in the blue singlet. Alan Freed from Bloomington, Indiana, 23 years old. And in the red singlet, former world champion from Iowa City, Tommy Brands. And the score is knotted up 3-3 at this point, Russ. It is anybody's bout.
Well, Alan Freed got all of his at one time. The initial move drove Brands to his back. But Tommy Brands fighting back, gets a 2-point exposure, then comes back with a 1-point penalty for the edge of the mat. Now turns that top position into a 2-point exposure with a gut wrench. He now takes the lead 5-3.
And you could almost see it on Tommy Brands' face. That was exactly where he wanted to be, in that top position. He was working for that gut wrench. He was very confident of the whole situation, Russ, and he turned it.
You know, I think that Tom is almost used to being behind in the start. I think that he gets motivated and pumped that you're ahead of me, but you're not going to stay that way. And we're talking about a very tough wrestler in Alan Freed. And Tommy just keeps the pressure on, keeps going after it, and he's gotten himself back into control of this match.
Would you say, is it fair to say that he knows one speed in one direction only?
There's no question about that, and it doesn't matter whether he's behind or whether he's ahead, he's going to keep attacking you. He's back in on the single leg right here. Alan Freed trying to get the waist lock here to block, and he does. A stalemate position, they bring him back up to their feet.
And that clock continues to tick by. Brands ahead right now of Freed, 5-3, 1 minute, 20 seconds remaining in this bout.
A tremendous exchange of position. Attack by one, counter by the other, re-attack, but no points. Two great wrestlers going at it. Very tired right now, but still applying the knowledge that they have to try to score some points.
Tommy Brands works as an assistant coach at the University of Iowa with his former mentor, Dan Gable.
And Alan Freed at Indiana University. We see a lot of these international wrestlers working with athletes. I think it makes a difference. You get better yourself when you teach other people. You know, you have an opportunity to work out with them. So being an assistant coach someplace gives you the opportunity not only to learn more about yourself, but also to work out daily with people who can push you.
Well, we've got a passivity call right now, called by referee Mike Matlock against Alan Freed. Tommy Brands chooses to put him in the down position so that he might once again do what he does best, and that is turning the wrestler on the bottom position.
Trying to work that gut wrench to lift him up. We've already seen a turn here. Tommy Brands, I don't think he wanted to make a mistake. He's got a 2-point cushion, 30 seconds to go. He's going to keep the pressure on, but he doesn't want to make a mistake. He doesn't need to force anything, get himself in trouble.
And he could very easily at this point move in and lock up, but he doesn't do that. He chooses to go for the legs from behind and picks up that 1-point takedown to go ahead now, 6-3 with 19 seconds remaining.
There was some tactic there. Tom Brands using the pressure driving in, but then he redirected, kind of shifted away, pulled it aside, and drove across, came around behind on the legs and scored another takedown to go ahead 6-3.
Freed, this bout will resume with Freed in the down position. Russ, I've seen very few wrestlers with greater focus than Tom Brands and his twin brother Terry.
They're competitors, but you know there are no givens. You've got to still battle and work for it. There are a lot of tough people. This tournament had over 300 wrestlers in the freestyle and an awful lot of guys who've been national champions, represented the United States, so you can't take anybody for granted. Freed doesn't give up. Time runs out. Does he score a point or does time run out?
It's academic nonetheless.
They gave him one.
Freed does pick up a point, but our champion, defending champion, Tommy Brands, again, cops another 136-pound title.
And here we see a position with Tom Brands on top, the 2-point gut wrench that really put him out in the lead here, 5-3, and really put the win in his corner.
And there you see, you're very happy. He doesn't read it on his face, but trust me,